What's up, guys? I'm back. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a little while since I posted a video. You may have noticed some changes. I made some upgrades to my filming setup. I finally got a tripod and ring light and nice little table workstation here. We got a cool view of some of my reptile vivariums and some sneak peeks at some future projects I'm working on. So I'm pretty stoked to be leveling up my YouTube game. I think I'm going to be filming a lot more, posting a lot more videos. I know I've said that before, but this is different. I finally have a nice setup that makes it way easier to film, so I'm definitely pretty stoked to be bringing you guys more content, more videos, more projects I'm working on. It's gonna be good. Step aside, Miss Orchid Girl. There's a new orchid guy in town. So aside from just making that announcement and showing off my new setup, I also have a little project for today. Nothing super exciting, but I figured it was something light to do while I chat with you guys and just say hi and catch up. So today we're actually going to be potting up some Cypripedium orchids. I actually tried these last spring as well. I may have mentioned it in a video, but I never formally talked about it. This is Cypripedium acaule, which is a hardy lady slipper. They are actually native to Massachusetts, where I live in the Northeast of the United States. They're pretty widespread. They go up into Canada and stuff as well. And Cypripediums are actually a pretty diverse genus. They can be found on several different continents and they're really cool. And Cypripedium acaule is a really fun one because it's native to Massachusetts, where I live. I remember seeing one in person when I was a little kid and being really enchanted by it. So I think Cypripedium acaule is kind of to blame for this orchid obsession that I got going on. So I thought it'd be fun to try growing some. Last year they grew, they leafed out, they came out of their dormancy, but they never flowered. I actually threw out those plants from last year. These were pretty inexpensive. I kind of just wanted to start fresh. I didn't want to go to the trouble to overwinter them again, so I just got more. I went through an Etsy seller called Pretty Little Orchids. I've only bought from them once and then this time, so 2 times. I'm happy with them so far, but I haven't really dealt with them much beyond that. But this was $15 for 3 little rhizomes, but I ended up getting 4. I think last year it was a little more than what was advertised as well, so I'm pretty happy. So here is kind of what we're working with. It's kind of similar to growing a bulb plant. Around this time of year, they'll start to wake up and have that little shoot. So it's kind of similar, except instead of a bulb, it's just a little tuber type thing, but they look good. I know potting videos can be sort of boring, but I just wanted to chat with you guys and catch up. I needed to pot these up anyway, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to sit down and check in with you guys. So Cypripediums are terrestrial, so we're gonna pot it up. There actually doesn't seem to be a ton of information out there about growing Cypripediums in a pot specifically. There's quite a bit of information about Cypripediums in general, but there isn't a ton of information out there about growing them potted, which is kind of why I wanted to do this. I thought it'd be a fun little experiment and maybe it'll help you guys out in the future if you want to try growing Cypripediums potted. From the research that I did see, it seemed like a really good well-draining mix is best. So I have this cactus, palm, and citrus mix. It's supposed to be fast draining, but I am going to add even more perlite to that. So I have a whole bag of perlite here. It seems they really like inorganic media, which is actually something I've noticed with Paphiopedilums and some frags and stuff too. Although they like a lot of water and stuff, it seems to be good to throw in a little bit of leca, lava rock, or something in there. And it seems to be the case with Cypripediums as well. So we're gonna check out this cactus mix, see how it looks, but I'm guessing we'll probably have to add some perlite to it as well. This looks essentially just kind of like regular potting soil. That's fine, that's what we have the perlite for. And I'm gonna mix it up in a little bin over here. I'm just gonna sort of eyeball it. I think I'm gonna do a lot of perlite though. Some people are suggesting that you could almost grow them in pure perlite. That's how much they like it. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to get dirt in my coffee. But here's how we're looking, and I think this looks pretty good. Something like that. Now it's a lot of perlite. I would say it's almost like a 50-50 mix between the soil and the perlite, but I think that's just perfect. Here's the pot I'm using. It's just a clay pot. Seems best to use something kind of shallow. The roots tend to spread out more horizontally. And the recommendation is just to pot these down 2 inches or so. Let's move the coffee. I'm home alone and I keep hearing weird noises and it's freaking me out. But luckily, my house is protected by my attack dragon. All right, now let's pot these guys up. The hat's going on backwards. You know it's getting serious. All right, so there's 4 of these, and I'm just gonna space them out a little bit in there, and once I think they're positioned well, we'll start covering them up. Obviously, you want to point a little growth up. Now, I'm buying these the right time of year in spring when they would be waking up like this. So I don't know if this particular seller would sell them if it was like off season. I'm not really sure, but it seems best to do it this time of year when they're coming out of dormancy anyway. So I think I'm happy with the placement of these guys. So we're just gonna cover them up with like 2 inches of mix. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I did put a layer of leca and lava rock in the bottom. It's probably not gonna do that much for drainage. I added it more so just to obstruct that hole in the bottom of the pot. Since this mix is pretty loose, I didn't want it to be constantly coming out the bottom. So I'm gonna try harder this year. Like I said, I tried these last year and they didn't bloom, and I think I just kind of lost interest and just let them go. You can tell pretty early on if yours are going to flower because the bud kind of comes up almost at the same time as the leaves. You'll get the leaves first, but the bud should be right there too. Another thing that seems to be really important with Cypripedium acaule is pH. They are like other orchids in that they like a pretty low pH, so pretty acidic conditions. A lot of the stuff I was reading really emphasized the pH for Cypripedium, so I'll do my best with that. There's some tricks like adding a little bit of vinegar to your water, stuff like that, so we'll talk more about that in the future. I'm planning on doing lots of check-ins and letting you know how this goes. That's about it. All potted up. It's a lot of perlite, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna be what's best for these guys. I filled this up pretty high, but I think when I water it, some of that media will settle down a little bit. So that's about it. Really not too much to this video. I feel like this was probably super boring, but I just wanted to chat with you guys, show you guys my new setup, and pot up some Cypripediums. I had to do it at some point anyway. Like I said, I'm gonna do check-ins, keep you guys posted, see how these do. They're sprouting up right now. They tend to bloom in like pretty early spring, I think, and then start dying back pretty soon after that. So we should know within a couple months how these are doing for me. I do plan on doing more research in the meantime. That's sort of like a New Year's resolution of mine, New Year's orchid resolution. I want to do more research and try to be a little bit more scientific. I do that anyway, but I think I get by on intuition a lot of the time because I do kind of have a good like feel for plants, which is a good thing to have, but you know, I want to get better about measuring things like my pH and water quality, maybe get a light meter and things like that, and try to give you guys more information, because I feel like when I do my little care guides and stuff, I could be a little bit more specific with my recommendations. So that's a goal of mine, and I plan on reading up more about Cypripediums, and next time we see these guys, hopefully they'll be coming along nicely and I'll have some more info to share with you guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I really appreciate it. It goes a long way to making me feel like I'm, you know, doing a good job, and helps me stay engaged with you guys and stuff. So it really means a lot. Hit that like button as well. For the longest time, someone was thumbs downing every single one of my videos, and I got a kick out of thinking about it, because this is either a different person every time and it's just sort of a coincidence, or there's one person who just hate watches all my videos and thumbs down every single one. Just kind of made me laugh. But anyway, subscribe, stick around. I'll see you in the next one. I got some cool stuff planned in the future, so I'll see you then.